Welcome to Zebadextra and Phebo. Today we're gonna tell you all about the Little Mermaid movie.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, we just went to go watch it today.
Yes.
On the last day of school.
Yeah, and the first day of the movie.
Was it?
It was.
Oh. This is directed by Rob Marshall. It stars Halle Bailey. And did not recognize the gentleman who plays Eric.
John Cusack?
No.
No. Okay.
That would be cringe.
Yeah. They really
Already I felt like Prince Eric looked considerably older than Ariel.
No.
No?
No. Well, maybe a few years, but
He
you
looked
know.
like 10 years older.
No,
No.
but honestly, 10 years isn't that bad, you know.
Well, it is if it's her first boyfriend. She's leaving the sea. Her father's worried about.
Spoiler alert.
Oh, maybe 20 years older.
What? Now they're getting into the range of Phebo and Zebadextra.
All right, Joyce. So,
If you had to sum up this movie,
yeah.
tell me
That's okay,
what
Joy.
it's about.
Yeah, what is this movie about? But no spoilers.
No spoilers. Can't spoil the end. That's what we do.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but we tell them what it's about.
Beginning and middle.
Well, no, you don't have to tell them the whole thing. But
Just tell them what the basic.
what did you think this movie was about?
Yeah.
Was it about true love's kiss?
I think it was about the Little Mermaid trying to go on the surface, but she can't because she has a tail.
Oh,
Was this movie scary?
No.
Not at all.
were there any scary parts?
No.
No. Oh.
Were you excited through the movie? Were you bored through the movie?
I was a little bit bored.
You were a little bit bored?
Mm.
Did you enjoy the popcorn at least?
Yeah, I enjoyed the pop.
Oh, did she pick Raisinets?
No, she actually picked a bunch of Crunch.
Oh.
They're like the Crunch bars in little chocolate. Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, before Miss Thang leaves us to the review, is there anything else you want to say about the movie?
Not really.
Not really? That's
Well,
it?
Hold on. You want to give them your review? Was it a thumbs up, a thumbs down, or thumbs eh?
Really?
It was an eh. Is that because it wasn't all cartoon?
Yeah, it wasn't all ten.
It was no cartoon, huh?
Well, it was more CGI, huh? A lot of CGI.
Well, yeah, but no cartoon.
No cartoons.
But they at least had songs.
Yeah.
And there were funny animals.
Yeah,
right?
remember when they were singing "Let It Go, Let It Go"?
Is that right?
What movie is that from?
Just no, Daddy.
Just
Frozen.
Frozen.
Joy, what was your favorite part of this film?
And don't say the end.
Leaving.
You can't say that. I just said it.
Well, I just said that.
What was the most fun part in it? Wow, you can't keep saying the end. So there was nothing you really enjoyed about this movie? Was it really pretty at least?
Well, I like this underwater song.
The underwater songs. Thank you to our special guest.
Bye.
All right. You have a good one, baby. We will see you when we're done.
Oh, can you sneak under there?
All right. So now we're going into the spoilers. Joy was kind enough to kind of guide us through the what we thought, or at least what we thought the movie was about.
If you've never heard of the Little Mermaid tale,
If you've never heard of the Little Mermaid, I'm not sure what planet we're broadcasting to, because it's one of Disney's big. I mean, it's one of their big rides. It's one of their big movies.
So anyway, basically, yeah, it's about a mermaid. She's interested in
The surface.
being on land, learning about humans. Her
Humans
father
and-
wants to keep her safe. Her father is King Triton.
Yes.
He wants to keep her under the sea. If for some reason you don't know the story. However, if you're very familiar with the Disney classic animated film, like we are,
Yes.
this almost plays beat for beat. Not so much, not like The Lion King, but it's very predictable to
Yes.
anybody who's watched it. So
Yes.
it was very enjoyable because we knew it was coming. They didn't stray too far from the material, but then what was in addition was all the beautiful color.
It was amazing.
And people of this film.
So this
it was really pretty.
I have to say, I was like looking for points where the green screen and the CGI were kind of out of sync.
Oh.
I was actually looking for
Not me. I was just enjoying it.
And well, I was too, but I was looking to see how well they did with that. And
Uh-huh.
and I have to say, they did a fantastic job.
Yeah.
There was only 2 or 3 spots through the movie where I was like, that's a green screen.
Oh, I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
You know what was really nice is I just really liked how so much of it took place underwater.
Mm-hmm.
And usually the ocean is kind of like a scary place to me because it's dark, deep. But in this film, it's dark sometimes, but most of the time it's really light.
and airy.
And she's just enjoying it so much. Plus, all of the graphics where they make her hair look like it's flannel, and the king's hair.
Yeah.
It was so beautiful.
It was. It was very beautiful. The CGI was outstanding.
And her tail.
Yes.
So beautiful.
And you know what I liked? So in the very beginning, as I'm sure if you've watched the other one, you're aware, there's the gathering with the king and the daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And what I loved about this is, did you notice, like, his daughters all had different, like,
they look like they all had different moms.
Ethnicities.
They literally look like they all had different moms.
Yeah.
And his daughters were like of the 7 seas. So there's 7 daughters, right?
Right.
So they're all from a different place.
Right. And
Yeah,
I just thought it was really cool that, like, you know, there were all these different ethnicities present that you could see. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I don't know, it was really nice.
So I missed the first 5 to 10 minutes of this show because I was in the bathroom with the girls. What did I miss? Because I didn't see that part where he's talking to his daughters.
So you remember in the animated series when all the daughters, the clams
did they have a song?
No, they didn't.
Oh, okay.
They didn't have a song at that point, but they were getting ready for the, what was it? Something
the Coral Moon.
The Coral Moon. And so there were 6 daughters sitting there, and the 7th one was missing, Ariel. So that's really all you missed. And then it went into the whole Sebastian go find her thing. Okay. So I'm going to go through and
if you don't want spoilers before you see this movie, push pause, go see it.
If you've already seen the movie, literally you're gonna recognize like everything I'm saying, and you're going to, when you watch the movie, you know, you're not really gonna be surprised by anything, because it is
there's a little bit of addition. Like, I enjoyed that there was some differences. Like, The Lion King was too exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was super boring. This, by the way, is my favorite of any of the Disney remakes. Yeah,
really?
I like it.
Oh, of the remakes.
Okay. Yeah. So, like, there were Cinderella, Aladdin, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, the Jungle Book.
You know what? I haven't seen all the remakes, but I will say I enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go out here early with this. I enjoyed this one more than the original.
I thought the original was so scary. I remember being so scared when I saw the original. You were 10 years older than me, so you weren't scared.
Yeah,
but I was
you were
scared.
like, what, 6?
I was Joy's age. So while we were watching this with Joy, I was like, are you okay?
I know,
Do you think this is scary? Also, this is maybe jumping ahead too much, but one of my least favorite things about the animated one is how...
Ursula?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Is King Triton's relationship with Ariel. I didn't feel like it was a healthy depiction of what I feel like good fathering, parenting looks like. And they kind of fixed that in this. He still makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect.
Nobody's perfect, yeah.
But he realizes what mistakes he made. And that's more clearly depicted in the film.
And I will say, this King Triton was less, like, over the top with the yelling and
yeah.
You know,
he did it a little bit.
Yeah, and you know, he raised his voice, but he didn't, in the original one, I remember King Triton just like goes off and
Yeah, he does. The part where he destroys all of her stuff, he still does that in this movie, but there's
Yeah.
like more yelling,
and
right?
not only that, but when we get to that part, I noticed like after he does that, you could see on his face where he kind of felt bad afterwards, and you don't get that in the animated series. Show.
I think you do.
Do you?
Yeah, he looks guilty after that.
I don't remember.
Because she's
that.
like on the ground and crying. Well, maybe not, but
Yeah. Okay, but let's get into this.
One more. This might be an unpopular opinion, but I didn't like the casting of Ursula in this film.
Really?
And I'm a Melissa McCarthy fan. I didn't like it.
You know what?
That was like my least favorite thing about this movie.
I tend to disagree on that because I thought she did a really good job. I think I went into it thinking she was going to do much worse than she did.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I was thinking her voice doesn't lend itself in my mind to Ursula.
Mm-hmm.
When I think of Ursula, I think more of a deeper, darker kind of voice. And she was able to bring it down a little bit, and I think she did a pretty good job.
So my issue is, and this is probably just because I'm so connected to the original film, but she wasn't scary. She was silly, not scary, and I think that the original Ursula is like literally grotesque, and this Ursula, she still looks kind of pretty. And so it was like pretty silly rather than like frighteningly scary.
But see, I think that was a cinematic choice. I'm sure they could have done scary with her, but I think that was more of a, hey, our feedback on Ursula from the original film is she was scary
Probably.
AF.
Yeah, probably.
And they want to make this a more kid-friendly kind of show, and so they toned down the scariness and just made her evil.
Yeah. But I just thought she was too silly.
Okay.
So,
all right.
I guess we disagree on that point, but I found myself sitting there wishing that they cast somebody that I wasn't so familiar with.
Like who?
Like Halle Bailey, excuse me. Is anybody else making that mistake? This is the first thing I've seen her in, and it was just really refreshing that she was like a new talent that was just like I could thoroughly enjoy and not compare her to anything else. I mean, I found myself doing that with King Triton too. I mean, he's been in so many things. He's in Tim's like least favorite movie of life.
And here's the thing. We look at films differently because if she finds a film where somebody plays like a really bad guy, she will not watch them in any future movies.
That's not true. Melissa McCarthy, I will watch her more.
I don't know. We haven't seen her come out with her next one. We'll let you know if that trend continues, but It's like you latch on to the actor as the character, and you just can't let that go.
Yeah, it's hard sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
like Mr. Bean is always Mr. Bean, no matter where you see him.
Don't you think so?
Rowan Atkinson, yeah.
Okay, well, you picked an example that...
But that's what I'm saying. That's what you do with everybody. You're like, Mr. Bean is Mr. Bean, no matter where he's at.
It's not everybody. It's specifically like Tim said, when they play very bad guys, it's hard for me to see them as a good guy after.
Yeah. I got you.
So Tim's going to give us a summary of this film. Not that you really need to know, because I'm sure you know, but let's hear it.
All right, so the movie opens, and they're on the ship, and they're...
Who's they?
Prince Eric.
I missed this part.
Oh, Prince Eric and I can't remember his name.
Grimsby?
Grimsby?
Oh, Grimsby is the guy in Queen Charlotte, I think.
Yeah, I think his name was Grimsby. I have it written down
something.
here.
It's Grim something.
Well, it ends in B, so it's Grimsby then.
Okay.
Cause
Frisbee, Frisbee.
Yeah, I wrote it down here somewhere because I don't remember them actually calling him by name. Oh, Grimsby.
So in this version, he's like a senator or something. Oh, well, yeah, that's a different thing.
Who?
But Grimsby is like a part of their parliament or whatever.
Is he?
Yeah, he had a title in the animated classic, and they're implying that he's going to get together with the queen. In the animated one, he's just like the steward or whatever.
And that's what I thought he was in this one, but...
No, she was calling him like... He was in the meetings about like what they were going to do about Eric and stuff, and she was like... She didn't call him High Chancellor, she called him something. Anyway, okay.
Did she call him late for dinner?
So go ahead and explain
All
about
right.
how Eric is adopted.
So you find this out at some point in the movie. So the the premise is that Eric was part of a what do they call it? A shipwreck. So he was found after a shipwreck, and the king and queen took him in, or at least the queen. We don't ever see a king, unless that's going to be
They
Grimsby.
say the queen and king took him in, so he must be deceased.
Right. So the king and queen took him in, and they treat him as their son. So he's considered a prince now. Um, but he's kind of got some wanderlust, and he's out on the boat, and he's driving around all over the place. Not really driving. I guess you don't drive
He
a boat.
doesn't feel really that he belongs
Well, so
there.
one of the things about this movie is the prince is enthralled with the sea, and Ariel is enthralled with the human world. So it's almost like those two stars are about to collide, because that's
They're MFEO, if you know what I mean.
mother.
No. If
Oh,
you
made
know-
for each other,
if
made
you
for
know,
each
you
other.
know.
Oh my goodness, I obviously did not know. I was not at the meeting. Didn't get the memo. Anyhow,
It's from Sleepless in Seattle.
oh, is that a movie?
Okay. Anyway. keep going.
Anywho, so they're on the ship, and it opens up, and they're trying to spear a mermaid.
They are?
They are, and in the very opening scene, they're
Eric and his guys are trying to kill a mermaid.
Not Eric. The crew, because mermaids are supposed to be bad luck to ships, and
This isn't a flashback of how Ariel's mother died, is it? It's Eric's actual crew.
kind of. It's Eric's actual crew,
Oh.
but it's kind of similar to how Ariel's mother dies.
Okay, so this might be really important to not miss this part because I didn't know until far along that the people of this land actually knew that there were mer people in the water.
Yes, they knew about mer people. They considered them evil. And they thought that they were the ones that capsized ships and took sailors to the
I
depths.
legit just thought it was the queen being crazy.
No. Everybody believed that.
Oh.
And to be honest with you, that was also a common belief in our history as well.
Okay.
So anyhow, they're trying to spear this mermaid as she's swimming along. And the prince is like, stop it. So he gets them to stop. And instead of a mermaid, a dolphin jumps out of the water. So they saw this body shape and thought it was a mermaid and were trying to kill it, but it turned out to be a dolphin. Okay. So while this is going on, Eric drops his telescope. It kind of drifts down.
So that's the telescope she finds.
That's the telescope she finds.
Okay.
And then the mermaids all swim to the throne of the king, right? And there's 6 of them there. There's one empty throne or one empty seat, and Ariel is the one that's missing, of course. So the king gets Sebastian, and he tells tells Sebastian to go find Ariel.
Sebastian is a crab.
He is a crab. That is correct.
He's voiced by one of the gentlemen from Hamilton.
And in the original one, he was a Jamaican crab.
He's also in this movie.
And in this one, he was Jamaican me hungry, so we went for sushi.
You
right
did
after.
not want to eat crab.
I know. It's a
I
joke.
appreciated how they used that culture not just in the crab, but literally when you get to the island,
Yes.
you get to see more of
that.
the culture.
I love that too because the whole culture on the island was kind of like a Caribbean, Jamaican.
Well, we don't know for sure Jamaican.
No,
because
but
this
it was
is in like
similar.
a removed. This is not supposed to take place in our.
Right, but it was a similar type of culture.
Yeah, so it didn't seem like so just out of left field.
Yeah. So Sebastian leaves to go find her. Ariel, of course, finds the telescope. She's looking through the telescope and she sees a bunch of crashed ships. So she takes off to go look at them, and Flounder is trying to talk her into returning to the castle, but she doesn't. and so he follows
Flounder
her.
is her fish sidekick.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
All of the Disney princesses have to have a sidekick.
I know, and yeah, okay.
It's cute.
It
Flounder
is.
was super cute
He
as
was
a
cute.
real fish.
He was cute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, my favorite was Scuttle.
Yeah, they did Scuttle really good in this.
You know, and it's funny because like as I was listening to Scuttle in this one, I was like thinking about the original Scuttle,
Yeah.
and the original had such a distinct
Uh-huh.
voice and demeanor.
Which made so much sense that they went in like a completely opposite direction.
Yes, yes.
So that it wasn't like, oh, that wasn't as good. It was
Yeah.
just different.
It was different, but it was really good. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it.
He'll tell you who played Scuttle in
I
just a
will.
moment.
I will. In fact, I'll tell you right now. If you watched any of our previous movie
The
reviews,
previous one to this.
it was Rebecca.
Yeah, Rebecca, you're going to have to watch the last review.
Yeah. So she goes into shipwreck. She finds a fork. And if
She's not supposed to be down there. It's one of the forbidden lands. But
Yes.
you find quickly Ariel does not like to do what she's told.
No.
Her mind yearns to expand, grow.
To an explorer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. She wants to expand and know more and do more and be more. And it's funny because she's like, this is the smallest trident ever. What did they even use this for? So I thought that was really cute. Were you back at this point?
I was, yeah.
Okay.
You didn't tell them what it was.
I did. I said it was a fork.
Oh, I didn't hear you say that.
Yeah, yeah. And
So it's like stuff like that. They added that. So she
Yes.
still has the interaction with the fork and is like, what could this be for? But they added,
yeah.
this is small. So it's stuff like that.
And then they're there, and she gets Flounder to come into the ship with her because he didn't want to go in, and she's like, oh, okay, well then you stay here and watch for sharks.
Directly from the film.
Directly from the film. They go in, and because Flounder's like, I'm not watching for sharks, so he goes in with her. What happens?
There's a shark.
There's a shark.
Which, if you've seen the animated feature, you knew exactly what was going to happen.
Do you know what though? Like when I saw this shark and the way it was attacking them, I literally thought of Finding Nemo.
Yeah.
It was very reminiscent of that shark attack.
You know, though, they just took that from The Little Mermaid.
But it could have been from Nemo.
But The Little Mermaid came first. So it couldn't have been from Nemo.
Yeah, but that's what I thought of was Finding Nemo.
Yeah, it was good. It was scary.
Yeah, and they escape. Ariel goes to the surface and she shows Scuttle her fork.
She doesn't go quite to the surface, which is different than the animated one. She kind of stays right below the water because she's not allowed to go out of the water.
Oh, that's right.
So Scuttle
And
goes into the
Scuttle
water.
goes into the water and scares Flounder
Yeah.
because but Scuttle goes in to catch some fish and eat the fish, and she's talking with Ariel, and Ariel's like, "What is this?" And the traditional line, "It's a dingle hopper."
Yeah.
So then Sebastian finds her and reminds her about the meeting.
Yeah.
And while this is going on, Ursula's watching through the eyes of the eels,
I forgot
Flotsam
about
and
that.
Jetsam.
I forgot that she had like...
Yeah, like that sight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, I liked how the eels were swirling in that one part.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. And Ursula is like, I can exploit this because Ariel has a desire to know more about humans.
In the original movie, was Ursula King Triton's sister?
Yes.
She was?
Yes.
I never remember her being called Auntie. So when she was like, Auntie Ursula, I was like, this is too silly. She's not scary now. She's your aunt.
I mean, I could be wrong.
I'm
but
pretty sure
I
she's not.
I thought I remember her being related to Triton.
Sound in down below, but I'm pretty sure she's not. Also,
Yeah.
it doesn't make any sense.
Why?
An octopus being related to a merman?
Okay. Which part of mermaids?
Okay, anyway, I'm pretty sure she's not related.
Anyhow. So Sebastian is ordered by the king to follow Ariel. Ariel goes to her hidden treasure room and she's looking around at everything. This is where she breaks into her song, Part of That World.
Question.
Yes.
Did I miss the part where they actually stated how Ariel's mother died? Because
So
it's just
they just
alluded
kind of,
to.
yeah, they just kind of
Okay.
hinted to it until like the end, towards the end, and then he's talking about how it was humans that killed her.
So it's very Moana, where the dad is trying to keep her from going
Yeah.
anywhere because somebody got hurt by going out.
That's a really crazy thought because in Moana, you weren't supposed to go into water.
Yeah.
In Little Mermaid, you can't go out.
Well, basically, it's about not expanding your boundary at all.
Yeah.
And so that is the same. He's like, oh, well, somebody died. You could die.
Yeah.
And that's really hard as a parent because obviously you
Yeah.
don't want your kids to do the things that you think are really dangerous.
Yeah.
But so that's what Triton's doing in this one. He's like, your mom died. They killed her. They're evil.
Yeah.
So he just keeps being like, you can't. They're evil. You can't. They're evil.
Right. And that was also a trend on the other side too, on land,
Mhm.
because the humans were all like, "Be careful of the mermaids; they're evil. They're
Mhm.
evil." So it's kind of both sides
Mhm.
not really understanding one another.
Mhm.
So, so then there's fireworks going off on the ship to celebrate Eric's birthday.
But yeah, so she sings her song, super pretty.
Yeah,
Halle Bailey does such a good job.
she does. She
in
does.
this movie.
It was really good.
Really impressed.
It's been a long time since I seen the cartoon one, but it felt like she sounded exactly like her.
Oh, she definitely doesn't sound exactly like her, but they didn't change the song at all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few little riffs that the girl did, but it was the same song.
Yeah, to me it sounded like I could have been watching the original.
Did you catch the original actress in the film?
No.
She was at like the little street fair that they went to, and she offered her.
The flower?
No, she offered her the food, and she gave her the dingle hopper.
Oh,
That was her.
No, I didn't know that.
Anyway, both wonderful vocalists, but I just thought that Halle did a really great job.
And then, so Ariel's watching the ship now, and Eric's talking.
It seems like this is her first time going actually out of the water.
Yeah.
Because she sees the fireworks, so she goes up out of the surface.
Yeah. And so Eric is talking about how he feels,
Yeah.
and she can relate.
She can hear him, right?
Yeah.
She's close enough to hear right
Yeah,
now.
because she got in the what do they call it? The escape boat.
That's what she was doing?
Yeah, she had climbed into
Oh.
that so she could watch what was going on ship.
So Eric's talking to Grimsby about how he just wants to explore. He doesn't want to be stuck on land.
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh. She doesn't say anything.
No, she doesn't, but she can tell.
She could be thinking anything.
Right.
I hate his style. Why does he always wear the same vest?
Stupid shoes.
Yeah. Okay.
So there's a storm that comes in, and it basically wipes out the ship.
Yeah.
And they get shipwrecked.
Burns up.
Yeah.
Everybody jumps on lifeboats.
Yep.
He saves the dog.
He saves Max.
Which makes Ariel really happy, I think.
Yes.
And
then he jumps in, and he's starting to drown, and Ariel saves him and takes him to shore.
Yeah.
Um,
And then she uses her siren song, which is new in this film. That was not spelled out in the animated classic.
what's that?
Her, that it's an actual siren song and that it healed him.
Yeah.
But it makes a lot more sense because Joy was like, later on, skipping forward, Joy was like, I don't understand. Why does he just love this lady now? This new lady. And I was like, well, she put a spell on him because that song that her necklace sings has a spell in it. And she was like, oh.
What necklace?
The Vanessa's necklace that has Ariel's voice in it.
Vanessa.
Vanessa.
Vanessa. I didn't write her name down, to be
Vanessa
honest.
Lachey. Just kidding.
Wow.
That's the only Vanessa I know.
Nick, you got to reel her in, let me just say, okay?
Okay. So, but anyway, she sings a siren song.
Mm-hmm.
I just always thought that's Ariel's song. I didn't think it was a siren, but that makes so much sense and heals him. And he
Right.
starts waking up and people run in and she goes away.
Right. And the guardsman's taken back to the castle. Ursula's making a plan to steal Ariel's power.
And Sebastian's been spying on her, so he knows everything that's going on.
Yes, but he's now kind of in too deep.
Mm-hmm.
And so he makes everybody promise to not tell the king, which is kind of funny because that's exactly his job is to tell the king. And he's like, oh, don't be telling the king, man.
So Ursula was making a plan?
Yeah, so Ursula is like, oh, I can use this.
Mm.
And so she starts formulating her plan. So Ariel goes back to her treasure trove. Now she has a statue of Eric in there from the shipwreck,
Mm-hmm.
and Sebastian comes charging in, and he's like, "You need to give up your obsession
Mm-hmm.
with humans." Um, and then Sebastian sings "Under the Sea."
Do, 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 do,
Do,
do,
do,
do.
do,
And
do,
it was
do.
so good.
It was amazing.
So,
I
so
loved
good.
it.
The whole experience, I was just sitting there. I mean, we both gave this film 10 stars
Yeah,
on our Instagram stories. And the girls didn't even like it as much as we did. We were
yeah,
totally into it because you get all of that nostalgia from your childhood.
yep.
But it was so beautiful
It
because
was
of all the
very
CGI.
beautiful. It was almost as pretty as you.
Stop.
No, I'm serious.
We watched it in IMAX. Highly recommend.
Yeah, yeah.
So pretty.
I mean, it doesn't have to be IMAX, but it was very, very good in IMAX. I have to
Yeah,
admit.
I mean, I'm sure this is going to be out on Disney Plus soon, but I mean, the experience was just so fun. So you get the whole original song almost exactly as it is,
Yep. And at the end,
but with real animals.
yeah, and then at the end of the song, what happens? The exact same thing that happens in the animated one.
What?
Ariel disappeared.
Oh yeah, she keeps disappearing. It's funny.
Yeah.
She does it to Eric too.
Yeah, so now Eric is on land and he's obsessed by this girl who saved him and sang this song to him, and he's just kind of going crazy. The queen is like, "You gotta chill, boy.
Yeah, and she even grounds him. She's like, "You
Yeah,
cannot go
You
anywhere."
cannot go on a boat. You cannot go out of the castle."
Which was just cracking me up because he looked at least 25.
Yeah.
It's like, dude.
Yeah. Well, what got me, and I didn't get this because he's grounded from leaving,
Uh-huh.
but the next thing you see is him
He's
on
on
a
a
boat.
boat. Yeah. Well,
And
so
he's
they
singing
both
his song.
they both won't listen. Oh, Eric got a song.
He did. He
It was
did.
really good too. I was so happy that he got a song.
And it's
What's
called
it about?
Uncharted Waters.
Okay.
That was the name of the song, I believe.
But it was also about singing about trying to find her, right?
Yes, yes, and how he needs to search in uncharted waters to find this person.
Metaphors?
Metaphorically, yes. At this point, we're at the point in the movie where Ariel's sister asks her to do something, and she's just kind of spacey, and all of her sisters realize Ariel
He's lovesick.
is lovesick. She's in love, and the king overhears it.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And he's kind of happy because he thinks
yeah,
she's
he's
in love with
very
the
happy.
merman.
Yeah, he's very happy because his youngest daughter is in love, and you know, nothing makes your heart happier as a dad to know that.
You know, there's actually no relationships in this movie. Romantic relationships.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, because none of the daughters have husbands. The king doesn't
And even
have a wife.
technically in the end, spoiler, they're not together in the end.
Who?
Ariel and Eric.
Did you watch the same movie I did?
Yeah, they're gonna go on a voyage together, but they're not, like, Disney doesn't have them get married
They
or
did.
whatever. Like, no, that
Yeah,
wasn't
they
a wedding
did.
ceremony. No.
No, it said that after they had gotten married and then they were going on this voyage.
Who said that?
It was in the thing. Literally, I wrote it down.
You mean like there was type on the screen?
No, somebody talks about it.
Okay, well, I thought that
I
they
think
got
it was
married because
Grimsby.
people were like throwing flowers and stuff, but
Yeah.
actually it was just a farewell ceremony.
It was a farewell ceremony, but it was also their wedding ceremony.
Okay, I thought that for a second until I saw her dress, and while her dress was cute, it was not a wedding dress.
I realize that, but Grimsby actually says that it's really weird to have your wedding ceremony,
What?
to have your wedding and then immediately go on a voyage.
Really?
Yes.
Well, it's not that weird. People take honeymoons.
Right?
Please comment down below if you missed that as well, because I totally missed it, and I was like, oh, well, they didn't have a wedding. That's nice.
Well, so I was thinking that too, and then Grimsby said that about the wedding and then going on this trip, and I was like, oh, okay.
Huh.
I think it was Grimsby, or it might have been one of the Scuttle or one of the animals, but I don't know.
One of the animals has an opinion about if they get married and take a trip.
All right.
By the way, the end was so nice, and I shed a little tear.
So anyhow, let's get back in our thing here. So the king knows she's in love. He summons Sebastian, and he's like, you know, I know you have a secret, and Ariel's in love, and the crab is just shaking, right?
Oh,
He's
this
just
part in the
like,
movie, you're so mad at stinking Sebastian.
and Sebastian just blurts it out. I told her not to go to the surface and all this stuff.
And the humans, and of course the king didn't know.
Yeah, the king didn't know, and now the king is mad. Furious.
Because we kind of skipped over, but he explicitly told her a number of times
Yes.
prior to this, do not go out of the water.
Yes.
So.
And then, so he goes to where her treasure trove is, and he's like, enough. You are not to have any contact with humans again. And he destroys everything, including the statue of Eric.
Nearly unforgivable.
I thought it was like really hardcore too when it like the statue destroyed, and she raced down and found like just the hand of it and was crying holding the hand.
And they didn't even have her be like, I hate you, Dad.
Yeah.
How could you destroy my personal belongings? I'm basically an adult.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Is she though?
Probably.
Okay.
She just got married.
Not yet.
They also don't show the space of time.
That's
so
true.
she could have waited 5 years to get married.
That's true. Didn't look like it though.
We don't know. We will never know.
At this point, Ursula finds Ariel and tells her she wants to help. This is where Flotsam and Jetsam.
They basically put a projector screen for her with a swirling jet of water.
Yeah, so the two of them spin in a circle, and Ursula's able to project herself.
Yeah.
So Ariel follows Flotsam and Jetsam, and on the way there, Ariel's attacked by those ice stalks. You remember?
Yeah. I thought you were about to say that Sebastian and Flounder followed her, which is important because then they know what Ursula did.
Right.
But yeah, she's attacked by what was in the animated feature. They were the trapped souls.
The poor unfortunate souls.
That was so scary in the animated one.
Yes.
At least in this one, it was just kind of like there's something attacking her, but they didn't look like
They didn't look
persons.
they didn't look that scary, but I still jumped.
Yeah.
I still jumped, even knowing that she was going to get attacked by these things. When she gets there, Ursula compares herself to Ariel in the way that King Triton treats her, both of them. This is where she breaks out into the song Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Let it be known that even though she's her aunt, they've never met before.
Never met.
She's
Well,
only
that's
ever
because
heard stuff about her aunt.
Right, and that's because Ursula had been banished by King Triton
for 15 years. So perhaps
was
Ariel
it 15
is. She said 15
or
years.
50?
No, she said 15.
Okay.
Although it might have been 50.
Yeah, I couldn't quite catch what she said there.
50 makes more sense with how pissed Ursula is.
Yeah, she's a little upset.
Yeah.
A little tweaked.
I think
her button's been...
I think they did really good with her at the end, though.
Yeah.
Making her actual giant. That was pretty good.
Do you want to skip all the way to the end here?
We just watched this movie today, so it's all real fresh.
It is.
Yes, let's skip to the end. Just kidding.
All right, so Ursula casts her spell. She removes the voice and puts it into her necklace.
Ariel doesn't want to either.
I
don't remember in the cartoon if she denies the deal at first. And she goes to swim away, and then the eels like almost drag her back.
Yeah, and she talks her into kind of coaxes her back as well. So Ariel has to give her a scale.
A bloody scale.
A bloody scale. So now this is like a blood deal.
Blood pact.
And
just to sing her voice into the charm.
Yeah, see, she does the singing, and her voice comes out and goes into the charm, and she's immediately turned into human at the bottom of the ocean.
Bummer.
Yeah. So she swims straight up, and it's kind of funny because like Sebastian and Flounder are with her, and they're like, it's a little harder with legs, isn't it? You know, the swimming. I thought that was kind of funny.
So they help her swim from wherever she is in the middle of the water all the way to the beach.
Not all the way to the beach.
Oh.
She's swimming in and she gets caught up in a fisherman's net.
I was thinking to myself, oh my gosh, it's a really long swim.
Yeah, that's a long swim.
Yeah.
From Atlantis to...
So a fisherman catches her.
Yes.
And everybody treats her so nice.
They do. And I was like, if I'm going to be lost at sea, I want to be found by that island.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, this poor girl, let's
Take
bring
the
her
clothes off our back.
in and here, let's just... I'm like, wow.
There's no chance you're a spy from the neighboring country and we
Make
want to throw you
me a
in jail.
prince, right? Make me a prince. Do me a favor.
They're so worried about the sea, but they're not worried about the neighboring countries.
Right? And at this point, Scuttle shows up. By the way, we didn't really say who Scuttle is.
Yeah, go ahead and tell
Should I tell them? So, Scuttle is played by Awkwafina.
I'm pretty sure before she became an actor, she was a rapper, which she actually gets to do in this film.
Yeah, she does.
She
do
has
some
one song,
rapping.
and she does great. Scuttle didn't have a song in the original film, but she gets one. So
well,
it's super
I don't
fun.
know that the guy who originally did Scuttle could sing.
I think that was Buddy. What's his
Hackett.
name? Yeah.
Yeah.
He can sing a little bit.
Can he?
He was in
You're really dragging this out.
Sorry. He was in that one. He was in Music Man.
Music Man.
Shapoopy.
Oh, yeah.
Shapoopy.
Shapoopy?
That's what he sings.
No wonder they didn't give him a song in this one. Hey, just sing Shapoopy for us.
If you know, you know.
So, so the fisherman takes her to the castle, and then, like, the servants all clean her up, put her in this really nice room that's bigger than my master bedroom.
Yeah, the one lady, the master of the house, she's like, oh, yeah, I have so much work to do, but let me stop everything I'm doing and bathe you by hand.
Yes. I thought it was funny, too, because they hand her the bar of soap and she tries to eat it, and the girl's like, hey, go get her some food before she tries to eat the brush.
Yeah, it was stuff like that. I like the little additions. It was so great. So what is she? She has no voice at this point.
Right. But she's doing, like, a montage in her head.
Yeah.
And she even does a song.
She gets an additional song.
In her head.
In her head.
Yeah. So they fetch Eric. And she's like all excited because that's why she came.
The reason they fetch Eric is because they know that he's on the hunt for some girl
that had saved him.
Yeah, so they're like, maybe this is the one.
And he comes in and she can't talk, so he's like, it can't be her.
Mm-hmm. She's super disappointed.
Yeah, she's very, very disappointed, and at this point she realizes she's made a bad choice. Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't that the way it is? Is this where the
song where she's like, I have to live with the consequences of the choice I
believe
made.
So, yes.
Which this is a very helpful message to send
It
along.
It is. Because, I mean, we do.
But don't be afraid of making choices, because there's literally everyone. You make a choice, there's a consequence.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just got to live your life.
Exactly.
But don't do drugs.
Exactly.
Okay, so she learns about drugs at this part?
No, she does not learn about drugs.
Soap.
Yeah.
She's just like nomming it.
Which is
Does she
weird.
ever eat anything real in this? Like anything human edible in this?
No, we never see her eat.
We never see her eat. Okay.
We never see her eat. Sebastian realizes at this point he has to help her get a kiss because he knows that there was a secret to Ursula's spell. She set the spell so Ariel had 3 days to get a kiss, a true love's kiss, or she would forfeit her body and soul. But Ursula put like a kind of like a rider in the spell where Ariel doesn't remember that she has to get this kiss.
This is new for this film.
Yes.
And it's really important because sometimes when you're watching the original Little Mermaid, you're like, this girl would totally just lean over and kiss him. Like, if it's literally her life, she would just kiss him. But...
just kiss the girl.
Exactly. But in this, they kind of fill that plot hole by making it so Ariel doesn't know that's the objective.
Right. So, so Sebastian realizes he has to help her.
And it's so cute. This part is so, so cute. with Scuttle and Flounder
Yeah.
all working as a team.
Yeah, and it's funny because Scuttle comes in,
Yeah.
and she's like, Scuttle is like really confused the whole
She's
time.
trying to sing boom chicka meow meow.
Well, no, at this point she comes in and she goes, "Have you killed the prince yet?" And they're like, "What?"
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah. Then they find that Ariel has left the room, and she finds this room with all kinds of treasures like she had.
She finds Eric's treasure
And it's
trove.
Eric's treasure trove of different things.
They have so much in common.
And Eric comes in and he finds her, and she's kind of startled, but he's like, "It's okay, come on out."
How much did you appreciate that they actually built the reasons why these two people would be attracted to each other in? Like, they have so much in common,
They do.
and they built that through their storyline rather than just having Ariel be like, "Oh, he's so attractive, I just want to have him," you know?
Yeah.
Same thing for him.
Yeah.
He really loves how she's so interested in maps. Anyway,
Yes.
his treasure trove is really cool. Go ahead.
So one of the things I thought was really cool is he had this fossilized sea
yeah.
stone, and he hands it to her so she can look at it. And she's like, picks it up, and he's like, "No, no, no, no!" And she's smashing it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
And it's what do they call that?
It's a geode. There's like
Geode.
crystals inside.
Yeah, there's crystals inside. And he's like, "How did you know those were
Yeah.
there?" So he was really, really happy with that.
Mm-hmm. And then they stay up all night talking.
And then she teaches him. She tries to teach him how to blow the conch.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Remember, she blows it, and they want to spend the day together. He's going to show her around the island.
So they stay up all night looking at maps. So he
Yes.
learns that she's very interested in travel and exploring.
And then Grimsby comes in, and he's like, "Well, we don't have any carriages. You're sending them out, all of them out." And finally, he relents, and he's like, "Okay, we can spare one carriage."
Yeah, well, because the prince is like, "Oh no, we have to use all the carriages to go look for." But Grimsby is like really trying to foster this relationship. He's like, "Let's use one carriage."
Yeah, he's like, "You know what?" And I really loved that because he was like, "Okay, rather than, looking for this person who could or could not be fictional, let's foster this relationship that seems to be kind of blooming
You
here."
guys have in common. You didn't know anything about this other girl.
Yeah, you know absolutely nothing about her, but I can see the way you're interacting with this girl, and yeah.
So wait a second. The next day they're going to spend the whole day together, right?
Yes.
So the first day, did they get the day on the first day?
So the first day they were there, but that was when she finds his room.
She meets back up with him at nighttime almost.
Yeah.
Next day they spend the day together. Third day is ruined because of...
What can we get?
I'm
there?
just trying to think to myself. She gave her 3 days, and I'm like, why did it seem so short?
It did. It felt short to me too, but when you think through the math of it, it was 3 days.
Okay.
So.
That means she spent the entire third day moping.
Pretty much.
Mm.
Yeah. So Eric and Ariel, they're gonna take their tour. Sebastian jumps on the wagon. And this is where Ariel ends up at the market.
First, he lets her drive the cart, and that's cute.
It is really cute, and she's just like crazy
basically
driver.
Grand Theft Auto,
yeah,
almost running over all the citizens.
Yeah, it was pretty, and at the one part they were tipping on their side at the edge of the. Yeah, I was like, wow.
So they end up at a market.
And that's where
he loses her again.
He does lose her again, and then he's running around behind her, paying for things.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the market scene, they're in the market square and they're dancing and they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Sebastian and send Scuttle to go get Flounder because they got to pick up the pace. We're on day 2, right?
Yeah.
So as their carriage is going back to the castle, Scuttle takes his hat and they run off in through the jungle to find it. And he gets the hat back. There's a boat there.
Scuttle puts the hat in the boat.
So the two of them get in the boat and they're just rowing around on this lake. And it was so cute because Sebastian's like, "We got to help this along." And this is where Scuttle goes, oh, well, I can do that. And she gets in the tree and she's singing, bow, chicka, wow, wow, chicka, wow, chicka, wow, wow.
And in this film, Sebastian's like, I need to sing directly to Eric because she doesn't know what I'm talking about. Or
Yeah.
she'll like stop us as soon as we start because of the
Yes.
spell.
Yes.
So it makes it more clear too.
Yeah. And so, he's like, he starts banging on the bamboo shoots, and Flounder gets the, what do they call it? Not iridescent, fluorescent sea or pond creatures to come, and they're surrounding them. It's very, very romantic scene.
It's pretty and it's adorable.
And Sebastian is singing "Kiss the Girl" as they're on their boat ride. Eric tries to guess Ariel's name after showing her the constellations, and she's able to point to a constellation, Aries.
Is this after they don't kiss? Or is this before?
I believe it was before.
I think it's after. So they end up falling in the water because of the eels, which is part of the original.
And that's just before they kiss.
Oh, okay,
so they're about to kiss.
Yeah.
Flotsam and Jetsam knock the boat over, and Ursula's like, okay, that was too close.
Yeah.
So I got to do something.
But so I like how she has him guess his name in this one. Like,
yeah,
he knows her name in this film. I don't think that's the case in the other one.
I don't think so. But in this one, she points to the constellation Aries, and as he's saying it, she like stops him so he doesn't get the S out. Ariel.
Yeah, it's cute.
And he figures it out. And the next scene, Ursula casts a spell. To me, that part was really weird because like she's like yelling at her tentacles.
That's what I mean about silly. It was too silly.
I was like, why?
She was like, nobody ever puts my stuff away. Like, it's herself. I mean, I think they're supposed to be like she's mad. Yeah. But still, it was silly. And then she finds it and she's like, oh, haha.
Yeah, I thought that was a little goofy. So anyhow, she casts a spell, and then we switch over to King Triton. He's sending his other daughters out to try and find her, and they can't find her. When Ariel and Eric get back to the castle, Grimsby covers for them with the queen. And then he asks Eric a kind of a question that's very center stage to the whole dilemma. He says, should we even continue the search for this missing woman and the girl that saved him? And then it cuts to Eric, and he's sitting by the sea, and he's grabbing handfuls of sand, and he's just kind of thinking, and he kind of has a realization, and he starts running up the hill. And as he's running up the hill, he hears this siren song. And he goes back to the ocean, and there is Vanessa.
So the siren song kind of like, there you go. The siren song wiped his realization that Ariel was the one.
Right. And so,
cuts to the next day.
Yeah, cuts to the next day. Scuttle comes in singing about the scuttlebutt.
Yeah, this is her song now.
Yeah.
The point being that the king says he's going to propose.
No, the prince.
The prince is going to propose to a mystery girl.
Right.
And Ariel thinks it must be her.
Right. And so, she's all excited. Sebastian's excited. Scuttles.
Skittles.
You know what? Every time I put it in here,
really?
it put it in as Skittles.
It says it right there, too.
Yeah.
That would have been annoying, sorry.
Yeah. That's like, I'm like, okay, every time I see Skittles, it's Scuttles. So, they're all excited. They're, really happy. She goes out and she sees the prince, and he's talking to the queen and to Grimsby. And the queen gives him a ring. Was that at this point?
It was a little bit later.
Oh, okay. So anyhow, he's with the woman he found on the beach. Oh, you're right, because Ariel then runs off and disappears. Scuttle is flying away and hears Ariel's siren song, And he's like, oh, great, she's back. Sorry. She says, oh, great, she's back. And she goes to the window and she sees that it's Vanessa. But when Vanessa is in front of the mirror, she can see it's Ursula.
Mm-hmm. And so Scuttle's like, no.
Yeah, and so now everybody's looking for
Ariel.
except for Eric,
Who is under a spell.
who's under the spell. And then Scuttles finds them and tells them that it's Ursula.
So Sebastian says, Flounder, you go tell King Triton. Scuttle,
Right.
you fly me up to the thing and we're going to go help her stop
and
him.
Ariel takes off and he's like, go girl.
Yeah. Oh,
And-
yeah, she just jumps into the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so she's on her way and
This is different from the cartoon, right?
I think so.
It is because, so the way that the spell gets broken is because her necklace gets destroyed. But in the animated film, I think Scuttle does it. But in this one, the point is that Ariel's taking things into her own hands, shown again a little bit later on in the film. So she goes and wrestles, couldn't think of her name, Vanessa.
Can I get to that part?
Sorry, I thought you were at that part.
No, I'm not quite there because at this
Sorry.
point, no worries. At this point, Eric is like, oh, I need to talk to Ariel. And Grimsby's like, she left the castle this morning. No one's seen her. So now Eric is looking for her as well.
Was he, though?
I think so.
I think he kind of didn't care.
So now everybody's attacking Ursula, Sebastian.
In the middle of this wedding party.
Yeah. Well, this is where the queen had given the prince the ring
An
to
engagement
propose.
party, yeah.
Yeah, to propose. And Scuttles, flies in and knocks it away.
Oh, and Grimsby pushes it away with his
yeah,
foot.
and Grimsby's kicks it away to kind of hide it. Because Grimsby, I like Grimsby in this.
He's a cool dude.
Yeah, he's got the prince's back.
Mm-hmm.
Ariel runs in. She grabs the necklace. She breaks it, and she gets her voice back. And it's amazing. And the prince realizes this is the girl he's been looking for the whole time. She's been right in front of him. And this story kind of reminds me of me and you, because you've been the girl I've always needed and wanted, and you are now right in front of me. And I thank you.
Oh, that's sweet, baby. It's a little different, though.
It's a little different. I don't know who our Ursula was, but
I think they did a really good job with Vanessa at this part, because she
Yeah.
turns back into her own self. She's on the ground, she's growling, and she's just... No, they
Yeah.
did a great job.
so the two of them go to kiss, but what happens? The sun sets
right
before
at that moment, of course.
right before they get the kiss.
So she gets her tail back.
Yep.
Which
So
means
she gets
she
her
can't
tail
breathe.
back. She's transformed right there.
Wait, she can breathe out of water. Yeah. she
Can a
can.
fish breathe out of
Well, she's always breathing out of water.
water? Yeah, it's true.
So then Ursula tackles her.
Right, so Ursula transforms and she grabs Ariel and she heads into the sea.
It's a long jump. Think Three Musketeers, where Rebecca, whatever her name is, jumps off the cliff.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I was thinking.
You've never seen Three Musketeers?
Yeah, I'm sure I have.
Mrs. De Winter.
I was thinking. The Count of Monte Cristo,
Uh-huh.
where he jumps off that prison island.
Is it a really long cliff?
It's a huge cliff.
That's that one guy I won't watch. Jim Caviezel.
Yeah. Jim, if you're out there, I enjoy your movies. She won't ever watch you again.
You need to watch Three Musketeers.
Which one?
Remember, she kisses Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
kissing him, and then she just turns around and jumps off the cliff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that
It's
movie.
a nice long jump.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Where you really hope that
I
she dies on
enjoy that
impact.
movie.
Because she murdered her father, or her husband, right? Spoiler for Three
Didn't she
Musketeers.
murder more than one husband?
I think so.
I think she was murdering all of her husbands. Anyhow, back to our movie.
So they jump into the water,
Right.
and Eric takes off.
Yes. And,
She's in the water, and Ariel's like, let go of me.
yeah. And she's like, you made a deal, sweetheart. Now you have to deal with it. You're mine.
And she's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
So she doesn't even really fight her now.
I guess I did do that.
But then, who shows up?
a King Triton. And he's
He
P.O.
tries to shoot Ursula, but there's a force field.
Yes, because it's a blood debt.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's the Trident has no power over it. And so what happens?
This is new. She has the two eels grab Ariel, right?
Right.
And they start like electrocuting her and taking her life away.
Yes. And finally Triton just throws his trident
To Ursula's
to
feet.
Ursula, and they come in, Flotsam and Jetsam come in, and they start circling the
They get the
king's
king,
arm.
and he dies a lot faster
He
than Ariel
does. He dies quick.
was gonna.
And
So he just kind of like disintegrates and then falls into the depths of the ocean,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
We don't see him turned into one of those little squid guys.
No, we don't see that.
So in the cartoon, it's kind of like possibly I could still rescue him. My dad's there. He's just not my
Yeah.
dad right now. But in this one, it's like disappear.
He looks dead. He looks pretty dead. I have never seen deader in a fish. Okay?
Okay,
It disintegrated.
sure.
Yeah.
Circa March Up Country.
What?
The disintegrating bodies.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Okay.
She's never gonna let that one go, David Weber. So now Ariel and Eric try to attack Ursula.
Oh yeah, so all of a sudden Eric shows up and
Right.
he throws a spear at her.
Yeah, spear at her, and it like kind of glances off, and then she turns big.
Not yet. So then she goes to shoot Eric with the Triton, and then what is Ariel like pushes her or
yeah,
something?
Ariel like hits her, and the beam shoots out and hits Flotsam and Jetsam.
More disintegration.
Instant disintegration.
So then she's like, no.
Yeah,
So that's
she's
what
like,
makes her so
my
mad.
babies, and she's super mad now, and she starts growing and growing and growing, just like in the movie.
Mhm.
So there's this huge storm now at sea. She's got this huge storm going, and she's using the trident, and she starts making a whirlpool.
Yeah, she's trying to drown them.
Yeah, and Ariel sees that the shipwrecks on the bottom of the ocean are all coming up now, and they're being part of the whirlpool. And so she gets on a ship, and as Ursula is steering this thing, Ariel actually steers the boat
Mm-hmm.
so that the bow spear
Mm-hmm.
lances Ursula.
So if you remember the original film, it's Eric who did that in the original film. But
Was
in this one, in this one, they give it to Ariel. Because it's not like the prince is going to save your life. You got to save your own life.
I love that. I love that. That's empowering her to have her own destiny.
And she even had to crawl across the deck with her fish body.
Yes.
And hoist herself up onto the, what's that thing called?
The wheel.
The wheel. And then like throw her body over it to make the
Yeah.
gravity spin it
Yep.
perfectly to hit Ursula right in the heart.
Yep.
And she, what is she? Does she fall into the water or does she like disintegrate?
She just kind of like dies, and then she shrinks and shrinks, and I don't know. She just kind of like disappeared. I don't.
So then Ariel's like, should I go help Eric or should I go chase the trident?
Right, because she sees the trident like falling through the. And what did she decide to do?
Why did they have to make it so confusing and have it be King Triton with a trident?
Well,
Right?
we could call him Poseidon.
Anyway, so what does she do? She goes and does she pick it up?
She goes after the.
Oh, she
trident.
sees it hit the ground.
It
and
hits
then...
the ground, and all this magical energy like goes out into the ground, and who should appear with 8 tiny reindeer?
Yeah, not Santa.
It's King Triton, back from the dead.
Yes.
So,
And he says,
in
oh no, first she goes, you gave up your life to save me.
yeah,
And he says, you risked your life to bring me back.
yeah.
I love you, Daddy. I love you, Ariel. Here's your Triton back.
And then
Triton? Trident?
Trident.
Like the toothpaste?
Sure. Trident.
I literally, when I was a kid, thought it was King Triton with his Triton. Like, I thought they were the same exact word.
No, they're not.
Well,
Triton,
I know now,
trident.
but anyway, it's confusing.
It's like the past and future tense.
Try didn't?
Yeah. Try don't. So Ariel tells him that Eric helped
Yeah.
in saving him.
Because he's like, now you're here where you belong. Don't leave
Right,
again, basically.
right. And the king says all that matters is that she's safe and she's home.
Mm-hmm.
On land, the queen tells Eric that their worlds were never meant to be together.
Mm-hmm.
So the king summons Sebastian again, and Sebastian lays it out for the king. He's like,
Mm-hmm.
you haven't done everything to make her happy.
Mm-hmm.
You've done everything to try and keep her safe, but
Mm-hmm.
not happy.
Mm. That's tough.
So then you see Ariel, and she's in her mermaid form, and she's sitting on a rock, looking longingly at the castle. And the king surfaces, and you see him use his trident, and the magic.
He zooms the magic at her, but they don't show us.
They don't show. Yeah, they don't show the transformation,
which is a smart move.
And then you see they cut to Eric, and he's sitting on the castle grounds, and he's mopey, and he's throwing a stick for Max. Max. It was Max.
Is this where your mom thought of naming Max Max?
I have no idea. But no, remember earlier when I was like, it said Mac?
Oh,
it was Max.
Max
Yeah,
was
the dog,
helping Scuttle to
yes.
get Vanessa.
Yes.
Lachey.
Yeah. And so he's just like kind of throwing the stick, half-heartedly, and the dog brings it back. He throws it again. Dog brings it back. He throws it again. Dog doesn't bring it back. And he like looks up, and he sees Ariel standing there with Max. He gets up. They kiss.
Yay!
And then we cut to the.
That's just cut to what is their wedding.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't say it. Okay. It doesn't seem to be a wedding, but the way Grimsby says it, he's like something about. Who would have thought they would have their wedding and then go on a voyage immediately?
It's fine. We already covered this.
So anyhow, the two are married. Sebastian Flounder and Scuttles send them off on a voyage. They get in the boat and they start to go away. And Ariel looks back, and
because Eric's looking at something.
Yeah, and King Triton comes up above the water, and he apologizes to her because he's like, you shouldn't have to give up your voice.
About time. This is where the movie has a good departure from the original.
Yeah, but he's like, you shouldn't have had to give up your voice to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
And
poignant.
Yeah, and that he also tells her that all the mermaids will be there for her if she needs them.
This part was so sweet.
Yeah, and so at this part, you see all the mermaids coming out of the water, and the humans.
Mer people.
Yeah. Okay.
Because it's not just females.
Sorry, the Mers.
The Mers. And they're like on the side of the boat. They're like up by the queen, and the queen's just like chilling. She's like, yeah, good.
Yeah, so it was like at the end they kind of united their two worlds, and and
like both families all send them off on their journey.
Right. And I think one of the other great points about it was both sides kind of came to the realization that there may be bad apples, but it's not the whole group that's bad.
Ariel even has a line about that. She's like, Dad, that was one guy who killed Mom. That doesn't mean that all men are bad.
Right. And so I really enjoyed that they had that kind of point in there.
Mm-hmm. Her and her dad share a hug. They both shed a tear. It's very sweet.
It is. It's a very sweet ending. And Um, honestly, it's a very good movie.
Yeah.
It's got great cinematography. It's got great music, just like the original. I think everybody they picked as the actors and actresses they did a good job with. I hear you with Ursula and Eric,
That's okay.
but I think they did a pretty good job. When I first saw Eric, I was a little bewildered at first.
I didn't dislike Eric. I thought he did a great job, whoever that actor is. I think Jonah. I think it said Jonah.
Jonah Hill?
New.
Okay.
I don't have my phone or else I would look it up. But I think everybody did a great job. It's just some parts were so
Not the best.
it's fine. It's fine. As a whole, this movie is a love for me. It's been a minute,
Yeah.
I think, since we had a love for me on the channel.
It's a love for me too. This is one I would definitely watch again.
Actually, I think I said I loved Guardians of the Galaxy, didn't I? Or didn't I just say I liked it?
Probably. I don't know.
Yeah, I would definitely watch this again, which we'll all have the opportunity to, as I'm sure it'll be on Disney Plus.
The kids won't want to watch it, but the adults will watch it again.
Okay, the girls got bored. It
Yeah.
got a little long, to be honest.
Yeah.
But they were trying to build this love story between the two of them, which I really appreciated. But that middle part was a little long.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, really, it was good that it was in there. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense as a love story. But for the kids, they were bored. Like before Ursula got big, Joy was having a real hard time. She's like, "Mom, when is this over?" So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I really enjoyed it. What was your best? What did you find best about this film?
What did I like the best?
What did you like the best?
That ending was really sweet. I kept trying to skip to the end during this review.
I noticed.
I also really liked the part where they're in the marketplace on their day together.
Yeah, that was nice.
But like more than that, I loved all of the parts when Ariel was in the water because how they did her tail was so beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It was constantly changing colors, and her hair in this film, while I don't know that I loved the color of it per se, but the look of her hair and how hard they must have worked on that to make that look just perfect. Oh, it was so beautiful.
Yeah. I think one of the things I liked, first off, I was a huge fan of Scuttle.
Oh yeah, Scuttle's great.
The other thing that I really liked, and I kind of talked about this earlier with the different ethnicities, but the other thing that I really enjoyed is a lot of times when you see mer people, merfolk, they all have the same color tails.
Oh.
In this one, they didn't.
No, it was all different. Like fish are all different.
Exactly, and I love that. And their scales.
Why would they make them all the same? Because mer people are known to be just like so beautiful. Why not embrace all that color?
Right. And
Yeah.
I think most of the time they just use like the blues and the greens because that's kind of a marine color. But I really enjoyed because one of them had like red.
Maybe it was just the ease of animation in the original.
It possibly was, but I found I really enjoyed seeing different colors on the merfolk.
Yeah, so pretty.
Yeah.
It was like this film was saying, you all know that there are beauties in this ocean that we don't often see. We're just going to show you how beautiful all these fish are. And that's what the whole film did. It was so nice.
Yeah, and it, for me, it was also the fact that like everybody's different, but everybody's beautiful in their own way.
Yeah, and you didn't really get to know any of the other mer people except for the dad and daughter.
Yeah.
He even had. Okay, did you notice how they had little scales that were slightly reflecting on their arm? They were little iridescent scales, and then the dad had like an abalone shell.
Chess piece.
Chess piece. Yeah, I didn't see what color his tail was.
I don't remember. I just remember like when I was watching the sisters swimming around, one of them had like this red tail, and I was like, oh my goodness, that is so beautiful because you don't normally see
Yeah.
the different colors represented.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I enjoyed that, you know.
Even on Ursula, she had like, instead of it just being like a it's actually called a mermaid cut bodice on the top and nothing on her arms, she had like these iridescent like are they called angler fish? You know how they have like those bloop that come out and then they're glowy on the edges? She had all of those like around her face. It was really cool.
Yeah.
And all of her tentacles were like glowy and stuff.
Yeah. It was a very beautiful, very
bravo.
Yeah. Would you watch this again?
100%.
Would you watch anything else by this studio?
Yes, I would. I looked at what else Rob Marshall has directed, but now I can't remember anymore.
Is he related to Penny?
I don't know.
Oh, just wonder.
All right.
So that, folks, is our review.
Phebo wins the episode.
It wasn't my show.
What is your show? The next episode is going to be
Sisu.
By the way, I told you in the last episode that I was going to be forcing Tim to watch Mother, and then Little Mermaid come out, and I was like, oh, let's go watch that.
Yeah.
So we're not going to be reviewing Mother on this channel. Sorry if you were really anxious to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I'll go watch it.
You can watch it without us. It's fine.
I'm still going to watch it. There's actually this other one on Netflix. I think it's called The Mother, and it's a foreign film, and it looks like really good. So
super scary.
I don't know, but she's going to kick a lot of butt. She's a former Secret Service kind of agent. Uh-huh. And she's trying to go protect her son.
Secret
Anyway.
Agent man.
In support of foreign film, maybe go watch that one instead because it looks really good. So the next film review you're going to get from us is Sisu. Are we ever getting back to books?
Yeah. I actually, I just got a request tonight.
Yeah.
For us to do more books.
All right, guys. Well.
Yep. So, Phebo may have won this round, but I think I won as well because it was a fun movie.
Now you're going to say I won the battle, but you're going to win the war.
Well, I will, of course.
I'm really glad you liked it. I'm always so pleased when you like something as much as I do. And it was a musical.
Yeah, and, well, I think it's because it's something from my childhood. And I mean, how many people ever say they like the remake of something better than the original?
Yeah.
But it was better.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, 25 years of technology helps make it better, but
it was the storytelling got better.
Yeah.
Hey, if you disagree, let us know in the comments.
Yeah, absolutely.
But whatever your thoughts are, let us know down below so we can interact with you. That's the point of this podcast.
Yeah.
So thank you for subscribing. Give the video a thumbs up. If you would like to, it helps us out.
So here's the thing. If you're a Scuttles fan, subscribe. if you're a Sebastian fan,
leave a comment.
If you are a Flounder fan, hit that notification button.
It was so cute. Flounder was so cute because, like, when all of them were out of the water, he would jump up to say something and he'd go back right in the water. Yeah. So cute. Yeah. All right. We got to go.
All right. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to seeing you again in another week.
Yes. A very similar movie to Little Mermaid.
Yes, very similar.
Similar.
Sisu is supposed to be a cross between The Little Mermaid and John Wick.
Yes, there you go. It's a musical version of John Wick.
It's literally a John Wick mermaid movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. With beards.
Well, of course.
And blood.
And Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're at all confused, just go watch the trailer. Meet us back here in 1 week. I get to go over this film since it's Tim's choice. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I thank you for joining me.
Thank you for joining me.
And I thank you for the wonderful date we had to watch this movie.
Yeah.
And
with our children.
Yes.
It's a date.
I mean, school's out, so ain't nothing going to happen without the children for the next 2 months. Well, I take that back. We got that trip planned without them.
That's very true.
It is.
That's exciting to look forward to. Okay, guys. Well, we'll see you back next time. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.